Hello guys, welcome to episode 5 of my Ways to Improve Your Art series. Today I have part 2 of my gouache starting journey. I told you guys I wouldn't give up on gouache, and so here we are. First, let's start with the supplies I'm using for this video. In the last video I worked in just black and white, but for this video I will be using quite a limited color palette. I'm using the Art Creations Gouache tube set. It's quite a cheap set, but it's good quality from what I've been able to experience for myself so far. I had to give some of the colors a little stir with a toothpick because the binders were separating from the pigments, but it's fine, just mix them up and you're good to go. I'm using the Da Vinci Nova brush series and I'm painting in my Fabriano Venezia sketchbook. So if you saw my last video, you saw me struggle quite a bit with gouache. I'm not very familiar with the medium, but I also started painting with very cheap and terrible paints. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out and just watch me fail. Just kidding, it's totally normal to be bad in the beginning. Anyways, I learned a couple of things from those paintings, which I think shows in this painting. I'm still not very good by any means, but I can see I've been improving quite well. While I was doing the paintings for my last video, I came up with the idea to try out gouache for a flat color illustration. I had a hard time with blending, but I've also seen a lot of people using gouache for flat colors, and so I wanted to try it out myself. It's not my usual style, and I did just a little bit of blending here and there, but I tried to keep it mostly simple. Since I love painting lemons and Italian ceramics pattern designs, I thought I would come up with a design in that style and use a limited color palette. I used a couple of different tubes of paint, but the palette is mostly yellow, red, blue and green. I did the sketch off camera because I draw very light and so it's hard to see on camera. I wanted to include things that are typical for Sicilian ceramic designs, which are, for example, lemons, pomegranates and suns. So I came up with this composition. I did some thumbnail sketches in another sketchbook where I do rough sketches. If you've watched some of my videos, you know how I plan out most of my paintings. So anyways, right from the beginning of this painting, I tried to focus on consistency of the gouache paint, which I had a lot of trouble with in my previous video. I used way too much water in my mixture and everything turned out streaky and patchy. So this time I managed to keep the consistency creamy, and once I applied the color it looked much smoother. Still not perfect, but it looks good, and most important, I had fun painting. In my last video I was very frustrated and angry during the painting process. This time I had no issues whatsoever. Since I used too much water in the other paintings, the colors weren't opaque and they were transparent, and I would constantly reactivate the layers underneath and it was just a disaster. This time I was very careful not repeating those same mistakes, and I was actually pretty impressed with how much I improved in so little time. Practice is key, but also being able to see your mistakes and learning from them. If you don't understand what you did wrong, you won't be able to improve. I feel like if I tried gouache a couple of years prior, when I had no experience in watercolor paintings at all, I think I would have never touched gouache ever again. But I feel I have some experience under my belt and a certain amount of confidence in my ability to figure out a way to make it work in the end. Working through the ugly stages of paintings and trusting the process. So even though I still have a lot more work to do in learning how to use gouache, I'm on the right path. It's also very important to not beat yourself up for making bad art. Don't be hard on yourself. It's part of the journey. I said in my last video and I say it again, you need to make bad art in order to be able to do good art. Being an artist is about the journey, not the finished product. We are artists because we want to create things, not because we want a bunch of finished pieces lying around. Once we finished a painting, we are already thinking about the next thing. So enjoy making art, good or bad. Everything you make has a purpose. I feel like going for a more simple flat color look was a good idea. I tried a bit of blending on the lemons and mostly on the sun. I also decided in the middle of painting this that I wanted to add some type of line work to it, which I think enhanced the piece more. I need to practice line work as well. I'm starting to really like gouache. I will be continuing to learn once I come back from my summer vacation. Unfortunately, I have to take a break from gouache because I won't be able to take as many art supplies as I would like to. I will be going to Sicily in about 2 weeks and I will be staying there for 5 weeks. I will be starting travel sketchbooks for that holiday, and so I will be busy with other things, but once I'm back home I will get right into practicing again. Also, before going on vacation, or right in the beginning, I will be posting a sketchbook tour of last year's Sicily sketchbook, which I finished a couple of months ago, but I had so many other video ideas to do that I couldn't find the right time to do a sketchbook tour and post it. So stay tuned for that because I'm super proud of that sketchbook and I had so much fun filling it up. Also, there will be a lot more content on my new travel sketchbooks during August. I'm already super excited to paint Sicily landscapes and other things. I have a lot of ideas that I want to try out and share with you guys. But anyways, back to this painting. Since I'm a mixed media artist, I wanted to try out some colored pencils together with the gouache as well. I just had to, so I did some line work. I drew a face on the sun and made some fun doodles here and there. And I also added some white highlights with a white gel pen. And I did the background of the sun with a Ohuhu water-based marker, which looks a bit patchy in the video, but once the ink dried, it looks way better. Working with the polychromos on top of the gouache was very good and the details really pop, and so does the white gel pen. I feel like this paper handled the gouache very good. It is very thick and smooth, so it works good for that. Well, once I figured out how to use gouache properly, of course. Overall, I'm happy with how this painting came out. I had a lot of fun painting this. The overall process was very relaxing, which also makes me laugh a bit because in my last video I was so mad I almost threw my paints away. But once I tell myself I want to do something, I am going to do it, and there is no giving up. So I won't be procrastinating on using gouache anymore. I want to create more art in this style. In the future, I want to get more into an illustrative art style, so working with flat colors and then adding more details with colored pencils is the right approach to get better with gouache. I think I really enjoyed this type of art. In the future, I will do more complex still life paintings, but I feel for now I'm more into illustrations, at least for gouache. I've had an idea for an illustration series for quite a while, and I feel like gouache would fit right perfect for that. The series I have in mind is kind of Sicily related, and it is like a little bit of a story, and it will have more paintings or illustrations, but more on that after my vacation. So while I'm in Sicily, I can collect more ideas for the story part of the series, so when I come back from the vacation I can go and work on that series, so I have more material for you guys. It's quite interesting how you can go from one simple painting to unfold and developing all of those other ideas. Ideas come from working. You have to keep being active without forcing yourself to a point of not wanting to do any art anymore. you don't want to get burned out, but keep a good balance between a healthy creating routine and your other life duties. But a good challenge here and there and getting out of your comfort zone is very important. You have to push yourself to do new things, and also things you don't particularly love doing. That is important to grow not only in art but in life in general. Staying in your comfort zone for too long can be very bad and limiting. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye guys.